Hello, I'm Yolo County Supervisor Jim Provenza. As we enter the 4th of July weekend, I wanted to first let you know that there's been a little bit of bad news. 19 counties in our state are now going to be subject to orders further restricting activities as a result of the spike in cases in California. California had the highest one-day total, and Yolo County's numbers have also been increasing. We doubled in the last month from 204 cases to 505. My understanding is if we continue at this rate, we'll double every 2 weeks, which means a month from now we could have 2,000 or more cases. Well, that's unacceptable. We have to address that. At our Board of Supervisors meeting, we decided to enhance our enforcement activities so that the minority of businesses and individuals who are not following the rules will understand that the rules will be enforced. We've also redoubled our efforts to reach out to communities. As you know, part of the cause of the increased cases is large family gatherings where members of households of extended families come together and infect each other. So we are continuing to reach out and address that and urging people, and we do understand, I understand how difficult it is on the 4th of July not to be with your extended family. I have not seen members of my family for months who I normally get together with on the holidays, and it's very difficult for all of us. But it's also important that we avoid a situation where the number of hospitalizations increase, and then ultimately lagging behind that is deaths, and we want to make sure that doesn't happen. At the same time, we want to protect our local businesses. A lot of local businesses have spent a lot of money reopening and a lot of effort, and some may not be able to reopen a second time. Yolo County is very close to becoming one of the counties referred to as monitored counties, where the state takes over and imposes additional conditions. We may very well be in that category in a very short time because of our numbers. One of the ways to prevent this is to make sure that everybody is complying to the maximum extent possible. I've also urged that we take another look at bars. Anthony Fauci, the foremost expert in the country on contagious diseases, has said that bars are one of the riskiest places because people are drinking without masks. Because they lose their inhibitions, they tend to not distance after a while, and there's a lot of people in a fairly small space. I've urged the health officer to make that adjustment in our county because all the counties around us are now closing their bars under the county's order, and I'm really concerned that a lot of people from areas with higher rates of the disease will travel to our county, and we need to prevent this, especially on the 4th of July weekend. Some people have expressed concerns about wearing face masks, the liberty issues and the freedom, and we get that, we understand that. 4th of July, we're celebrating life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But in order to have liberty and the pursuit of happiness, you have to have life. And if additional people die, those individuals are deprived of that very fundamental liberty. So every preventable death must be prevented. If businesses go out of business or perish because of this crisis, they are not living a life, and the owners of those businesses are not living the life that they should be able to live. And the more these numbers go up, and the more that we're susceptible to controls and measures from the state that they have to take, the more threat there is to our businesses. So we do two things by complying with the rules, by wearing the face masks, making sure we're distanced, and avoiding any gathering, particularly gatherings that are indoor. If we do those things, we help individuals, we help prevent the spread of the disease, and we help local businesses who don't want to go through this again. We're very much on the edge, and it's very important that we work together to bring the numbers down. The governor today committed to lowering the curve a second time and making sure that California gets it right. Yolo County needs to do that too, and we need to participate in this effort. I'm very, very happy about the level of compliance, particularly in Davis, and I'm urging you to continue, and also letting you know that I understand how difficult it is and how important it is that we focus on the needs of our family and the needs of our children. And there's many ways we can do that. If we are visiting with other households, you can do that at a distance. You can have you can be in a park and distance yourself 15 feet away on chairs and have refreshments while you talk to the other member of the family. We're looking at ways to include that in some of our guidance in the future. We expect some new orders to come down from the Yolo County Health Officer tomorrow, and I will send out another communication to you when that occurs. I also wanted to report on the budget. We have a budget going forward, which is going to be a very tight budget, but one of the things I was able to do is to restore funding from the cannabis tax to programs for women and children. Those were zeroed out in the proposed budget, and I was able to restore 100% of that funding. Because I feel as we go forward in this difficult budget time, the last thing we want to do is hurt vulnerable people, whether it be children, minorities, seniors, or people who are in special need of help. So we have to redouble our efforts to make sure that when we make cuts, we do not harm those that are least able to protect themselves. I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July and look forward to working with all of you in the future.